Hey guys, so today we are going to do some practical hands-on on creating a very basic bot using Microsoft Bot Framework. It would be a very basic implementation. So the definition goes like this. Chocolate Store wants to create AI-enabled bot which interacts with the user to perform the order placement of the chocolates and the entire process of order processing. So as a starting, we are going to develop this AI-enabled bot with very basic steps where we are just going to create a sample project using bot framework provided by Microsoft, and the technology stack that we are going to use is Visual Studio 2022 environment pre-installed with .NET SDK. We are going to use .NET 7 here. A web project would be created where we will be creating a simple API and for the bot operations and Microsoft emulator to test the bot project. So this is the technology stack. Going forward, we would be looking at the packages used for the developing the bot. So these are four packages that we are going to use, which are important to develop this sample solution. Newton's soft JSON, very obvious, and we are going to use Microsoft Bot Builder, Microsoft Bot Builder Integration .NET Core, and Microsoft Bot Connector. So these four packages are helpful. There is some of the important code that I want to highlight to make you understand. We would be creating a chatbot class which will implement activity handler, which is inbuilt. This activity handler is implementation of the iBot interface, which is also inbuilt, and there would be one overridden method that we'll be creating, which is called on message activity async, which would be the core logic how the chatbot will respond to the user inputs based on the terms that are being entered and which are supported obviously. We will be creating a bot controller which is going to use iBot framework HTTP adapter interface, and this represents the adapter responsible for handling the HTTP request coming from the chatbot. And we will be using iBot interface in the bot controller we are going to use, and it ensures all the bot operations can be performed, which are incoming messages and activities. Processing method would be used in the post method that we are going to use, which would be passing the message that is generated from the bot implementation that we have done and will return to the user. So this is how the sample code is going to be written in our project using these respective interfaces. And the bot controller is important, which will be running. And once this implementation that I will try to explain you is completed, the question will arise. This is very implementation, which is very basic. But the thing is, we can use this sample application and use natural language processing using Lewis or Azure AI language. This simple project is only supporting keywords like hi or order. But let's say if user wants to enter the prompt like I want to order two dark chocolates, so our chatbot application should be smart enough to understand this prompt and should behave accordingly. And we also can use AI powered recommendation service, which would be we are going to use in the upcoming practicals. So let's go to the practical straight away. So this is the simple project that we have created, which is .NET web project using .NET 7. And the first class that we have written over here, you can see, is chatbot class, which implements activity handler, which has own message activity async method. It accepts the input from the user, and this is the core logic that we have written, which will try to understand the prompts that the user has entered. In this case, say for example, if the user enters hi, so the chatbot will welcome. This will be the response that would be written. If the user enters order, it will display the chocolates that are being sold in the chocolate store, right? And if there is any of the term which is not understood by this respective chatbot implementation, it will straight away say I'm not sure how to respond to your inputs. And next is there is implementation of the send activity async method, which will actually figure out the response that we have written in this chatbot implementation and will return the response to our chatbot application. Now this is very basic API controller that we have created, which runs on API messages route. And here you can see the iBot framework HTTP adapter being used and iBot interface, which are both inbuilt, which are going to accept the input from the user on this API, and the post async method will actually send the message which is processed by the bot implementation that we have done. We will need to add some of the required services in our program.cs file. One of them is the iBot framework HTTP adapter. If there is any of the another exception, we have written a custom implementation of handling that. And the second service that we have added is like the implementation of iBot interface would be handled by the chatbot class that we have actually customized and implemented over here. So this way, these two services would be actually handling the requests that are coming from the user. Now let's run this project. This is the sample boilerplate. We have downloaded bot framework emulator which is free. We can click on connect. We can select the endpoint on which the API is running. We can click connect, and then the sample emulator will show the user screen to input. So user has entered hi. So the response is coming from our chatbot implementation. If we enter order, then we have the information that we have pre-set up saying this store is selling these type of chocolates. If we enter any of the other input which is not supported by our this implementation, then it will show a customized message saying that I am not sure how to respond this chat. So this way we have understood that what code we will need to write, which packages we will need to install, and how we can run this respective sample chatbot from the emulator on our local machine. So this is the way we have created a sample implementation of a chatbot. We are surely going to enhance it with different AI services that are available on cloud, as well as we can use it from the SDK. Thank you for watching this video.